My biggest
Yeah,
concern.
I mean, obviously that would be consistent with the state's behavior in the past.
Would it, is there a rationale for shifting it from the county to the schools? I mean, what,
Well, I think what they're saying is that, county mental health is providing these services for students that are, are students in the K-12 population. So they're thinking, well, hey, we'll just shift it.
thank you.
Well, I share the concern. I feel like, once again, as has been the case for so many years, the state is putting the school districts in a position of having to make decisions based on very unstable, what I consider unstable information, in the sense that we have no way of really feeling any sense of security about these numbers. What's true for us today, or what's on the dartboard for today, could change tomorrow. And yet we have to make decisions that we can't change. And once we make them, especially regarding staffing, there are time limits on what we can do and how we can do it. And it is extremely frustrating. I usually operate under the assumption that you're not going to really be at either of the extremes, that you'll probably be somewhere in the middle. But in this case, I don't know that that's a realistic view, because if the extensions do not come to fruition, I don't know how you avoid the doomsday extreme. I don't know what can offset getting to that dire extreme. So that really, really worries me. Because normally I feel comfortable thinking, well, it probably won't be this great, but it probably won't be that bad. But in this case, it's really hard to assume that the worst-case scenario is not likely. And I mean, voters, as we all know, are so unpredictable. We have no way of gauging what will happen with those extensions. So I'm like to share, I'm the same as everybody else. Just, it's so hard to make decisions in this climate. But I did have one question for you. You talked about if Prop 98 is redistributed, basically, and it doesn't roll into our baseline for next year, our floor, I think you referred to it.
Right.
Then does our floor remain what it is this year?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and that's why you get such a big disparity, because what you're seeing right now is under the current proposal, you're seeing, one, he's using the $3 billion to buy out a deferral. This suspension of Prop 98 is not even contemplated in your best case. So basically, they're going to drive down the floor, which means less money for K-12. If you think about 40% of the budget goes to K-14 education out of the state's budget, if you can drive down the floor and give you only what they gave you last year, that's how that mechanism
Well,
works.
and that becomes so important, because then we're looking at it for 11, 12, and then 12, 13, and it compounds the problem every year.
Unless the economic engines of the state start going the other way. That's correct. So,
Wow.
so I think what I'm hearing is we need to bring back some contingencies.
I think we have to. I think we have to. I agree with Mr. Herron. We cannot afford to assume that we're going to have any kind of a rosy picture.
I'd like to also just say, I hope we all keep in mind our number one audience is our students, our kids. And if we give our kids a $7 million, $18 million, $16 million, $24 million deficit, and we go bankrupt, that's not in the best interest of our kids. And so I hope we keep the kids the number one priority.
Okay, well, I think we have a couple of public comments on this item.
We have
And if there are any other, people who would like to submit a speaker slip, this would be the time to do it. Okay.
we have Deborah Pentland, followed by Scott Barish.
Good evening. Watching the ups and downs of the budget is very difficult on yourself, the parents, the health assistants. We get numerous calls every day, who's going to take care of our children? So when I came in and I picked up the May revise, I know the wonderful work you've done. The unification is exceptional. And I had contacts, I got calls from Sacramento last week from the 5th District President, Noreen Sims of the PTA, who said, Debbie, they are clearly telling me on both sides of the aisles, Democrats and Republicans, that they will not sub-fund school districts.